Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric Porter, and today we're going fat biking. But before we go fat biking, we got to build some trail. And this is a snow dog, and this is how you build fat bike trail. So a lot of you might be thinking, I thought you just get a fat bike and go riding. If you try to ride just off trail anywhere where it's snowy, it's not necessarily going to work. So where it's packed and groomed, it's nice and firm. You can walk on it, run on it, and fat bike on it, which is great. But as soon as you go off trail, you just post hole. And this stuff is like knee deep, and it really doesn't work to get around like that. When I first got a fat bike as well, you think, okay, I can ride on anything now. This is a monster truck and I'll be able to just ride over whatever, but obviously that's not the case. Right here, all good, no problems. If you go off trail, you're going into your axle and probably going over the bars. So that's where this machine comes in. There's a lot of other ways besides this that people can make fat bike trails, like snowshoeing or snowmobiles. But not only is this, I think, probably the best way, it's also the most fun way, as you'll see in a little bit. So instead of me acting like I know what I'm talking about with this machine, I brought in Mike Rosberg, who is the treasurer of Wasatch Trails Foundation and a huge fan of fat biking and fat bike grooming. And he's really brought that to this valley in a big way. So huge thanks to Mike for that.
This is my 6th year grooming trails. I groomed 2 years down in Corner Canyon, down in Draper, Utah, down in the city. And when I moved up here, we had a lot more snow, but nobody was grooming. So we started grooming up here. This is our 4th season up here grooming. So this is our first year with a snow dog, which really fits well on these tight, switchback, bermed out trails that we have over here on Jordanelle Ridge. Some cool things about the snow dog is it's really just a big snowmobile track with an engine on it. There's no skis to turn it. You actually just ride behind it on this little sled and you just push side to side, keeping the groom in one place. And so it's easy to maneuver. And the drag, you have all your weight on this drag that puts a nice little corduroy finish on the trails, which sets up after fresh snow. This is actually designed in Russia. Their main purpose was for ice fishing. So it was just meant to go along ice-covered lakes to go ice fishing. We've made some modifications to the snow dog to help us out in the mountains as opposed to a flat lake. So we've adapted it to groom mountain trails and pack down the snow and give us a really good riding surface. This is only good up to about 8 inches of new fresh snow. We still bring the snowmobiles out to get initial pack down at the first of the season or after a big storm, but this is actually lighter weight and allows us to maneuver and steer through switchbacks or turns much better than a snowmobile.
We got Ken McCarthy here now too. How's it going, Ken?
Good.
So Ken's got some different opinions on how this thing is to drive.
Mike must be a much better driver than me, because for me, this is a serious amount of work. You have to do a lot of full body workout. Sometimes you have to get off on the snow and you're just pulling it around the corner. Sometimes you're riding both and trying to tip it so that it doesn't slide down the hill. It's just complete body workout, trying to get it moving around the corners. You have to come up to the front here sometimes and grab onto the front and pull it through the corners. It's a lot of work.
So this is manual labor.
Yes.
I think a wrestling match is a really good way to call it, because you are, you come home and you were just like, oh, I found muscles in my shoulders and my back that I never knew existed.
You can get a workout from riding the bike, or you can get a workout from making the trail.
Exactly.
Well, I really appreciate all the volunteer hours helping groom all these things. These trails are super fun. So what does the drag look like that makes the corduroy?
So the drag, all these drags are homemade. So as you can see, we've got a snowboard that's cut in half, and we have some grooming comb that's actually the same comb that's on the back of a snowcat at a ski resort. We have 2 runners on the side that keep the groomer on the track to allow us to push the snow dog side to side.
And besides making your own personal Zen garden with the corduroy, what's the point of the corduroy?
So the corduroy, it makes it look really nice, but as you get those ridges on the snow, it gives more surface area for it to freeze, and so the trail will actually firm up faster than if we just groomed it flat.
I'm sure it gives more opportunities for traction with the tires too, instead of just a smooth icy surface.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Does it have any other cool features?
It does. It's got heated grips like a snowmobile, then it's got a light. We're all volunteers here that help groom the trail, so many of us have job's 9 to 5, and we'll come out here and groom for a few hours at night.
What are we working with here? Is this Ski-Doo 850 in here?
No, this is a 14 horsepower Briggs & Stratton heavy duty lawnmower engine.
That's awesome. Well, let's fire this thing up and check it out. So Mike gave me the crash course on the Snow Dog, and hopefully I don't crash it when I take it on the course now. But it looks way too much fun to not give it a shot as well. So let's see how this thing goes. I'm worried I'm gonna like the groomer more than fat biking itself. Which one's the throttle? Is this throttle?
That's throttle.
Okay.
And then that's on.
That's on. All right, wish me luck.
Go for it.
I like throttles.
Oh, coming in hot.
Coming in hot. That's my style. This thing is way too much fun. It's like the most fun you can have while giving back to your community doing trail work and maintenance. That is a riot. And it's a workout too. I don't go to the gym, but this is an upper body workout. So now that we know what fat bike grooming is all about, why we have to do it and how we do it, let's get on the bikes and get some riding in. So Mike's done grooming for the day and he's got to head home, but I'm gonna go out for a ride now. And I wanted to find out from Mike some tips to make sure my bike's set up right to have the best time possible.
I think the most important thing for fat biking is the tire pressure. It can make a great day bad, or it can make a mediocre day actually really good.
So what are we talking, like 25 PSI?
We are talking 5 pounds in my book is too much pressure. And I know that blows people's minds, but these are big tires with a lot of volume. And I rarely come across anybody that has too little tire pressure.
Cool, yeah, so I brought my Lesign pump here that's got the big digital gauge. What do you think we should be set at today?
I typically run 2 to 3. And I'm a 200-pound guy. I look at the bottom portion of the tire here and how much flex you get out of the tire just by simply just pushing down on your seat. We want to get at least an inch of flex in the tire. One, it spreads out the tire across the trail, and it also absorbs any bumps and stuff we have in the trail. It'll keep us floating on top and not make ruts in the trail, and you'll be able to go a lot further and have a lot more fun.
So we got the trails groomed and Mike had to head out of here, but I'm gonna grab a ride anyway. We got a little bit of sun left, so might as well make the most of the day. Got my tire pressure set down to 4 PSI, thanks to Mike. So these trails I'm riding are all summer trails that are actual built mountain bike trails, hiking trails. And then we just pack them down with that Snow Dog in the winter, and we get to ride the same trail network year round, which is pretty cool. I think an important thing to keep in mind with fat biking is just making sure that your expectations are in line with what it's actually gonna be. If you expect to come out and it's this high-speed shredding thing, it's not necessarily always gonna be like that. I like to look at it more like coming out for a nice cruise, being out in the mountains, enjoying the scenery, pedaling, staying in shape for the upcoming season. The more that I go fat biking, the more that I understand why people love it so much. It is beautiful out right now. Made it to the top now. We're gonna rip down Looney Tunes Trail. This trail's pretty fun, and it's got some corners and some rolls and a couple viewpoints that are pretty nice over the lake and everything. So this is a fun trail. It's easy to forget drinking water when you're out fat biking too, so make sure to bring like an insulated podium bottle from Camelback or something like that that keeps it from freezing, but also is handy so you can drink it when you need it. That's what I'm talking about. This is a really fun trail in the summer too, as I'm sure you can imagine. But 4 PSI is amazing. It is so much better. So thanks, Mike. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I had a blast out here today and I learned a lot, and I'm excited to help out with the fat bike grooming a bit more, as well as just get out on the fat bike and ride more. Thanks to Competitive Cyclists for sponsoring this video as well. If you need any gear for fat biking, road biking, mountain biking, anything, head over to competitivecyclist.com. They've got everything you'll need, and you can chat with the gearheads and they can point you in the right direction and help find the gear that fits your needs the best. I've included links in the description below for the gear I'm using in this video, including the POC Ardor pants that are waterproof where it counts and really breathable, the Lezyne digital gauge pump so you can get your pressure dialed, and the Deity Def Trap pedals, which are composite so they don't ice up when it's cold. There's a code there as well that'll get you 15% off your first order, so check them out. Huge thanks to Mike and Ken for helping out with this video, as well as everything they do for the trails out here. And if you want to help support Wasatch Trails Foundation, I've included a link below in the description so you can become a member or just give us a donation to help out if you like what we're doing. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.